Yeah, in the case.
But how did you take the news, sir? The president of the Republic of Ghana, amended the Civil Service Act, and he was establishing some 23 ministries, including the new ministry, youth, the new ministry, sports and recreation.
I train that. Why that's why I didn't come here. You need that, yes,
no time to waste.
You need that, yes,
But you share the renaming of the ministry from youth and sports to sports and recreation.
Who say a recreation of the sports ministry?
A recreation of the ministry.
Recreation of the sports ministry.
Okay, but it's your money,
interpretation of the recreation now. A recreation of the sports ministry.
Okay.
That's my interpretation.
Okay, but you share the recreation as you put it, impact Benya on the ministry. So, what do you think will be the impact of renaming the ministry?
I'll say a minister about a very research ministry in line with the vision of President J.D. Mahama. Because the country has a many research. And also Ghana Force Regional research their presidents near government. And here minister, I'm there to say the cricket minister will come with the DI. I am Mustafa Yusuf, the cricket one at Sabum, Ghana Sports, football pen or game. And first of all, you need a crackdown. Somebody will crack down on the crooks at the FA. And the answer Ghana for taxes. I had heard blacks. And now here minister as well. I've heard the record of Ghana Sports. So with discipline, and now you be a man banisita HM1. And then man a good dividend. But say a record that boxing and number one, Elkuma, in terms of glory. What a professional, I did 10 world champions. You're really our Olympic Games, Commonwealth, baby, and you are. There's no competition. And you hear research in the way transport ministers and what about the past black stars ministers. So I say boxing, number one, track and field, number two, and then footballer, my dividends, number three. Because yes, I did say Ghana first, your taxes are what Now one find putting it to good use. Also, you have good dividends. For far too long, it is such a football under this current crooks now more FNO. My Yachimianko will be a case in point for AFCON. And you hear Minister about first thing, we get rid of the press of the FA. Because what means to do with this current press at the FA?
Oh, okay. So for you, these are the immediate things officer the newly appointed minister should do. But we'll get into who should man that ministry. Of course, now I'm coming for the renaming and how it is going to work. I suspect that the ministry will get, and the minister will get a deputy based on President our promise of running a lean government of 60. We make a calculation now. Uma ministry be a deputy. It will amount to 44, which will be difficult for all of them to get deputy ministers, especially when you have 16 regional ministers. Should the sports minister get a deputy minister?
Anipa, was sports yet? What and proper said. President Mahama, I heard sports here and one administration. But why any year about what administration? Abwa Ghana phone now. Women chair, as you know already. Sports and I had the modern arena for warfare. Oh, the whole world. So,
yeah.
Who come for US fully? If you are sports, young person, not a top medal. Okay, all the superpowers in the world. I want to control it. Exactly, of course. If you use sports, I bet you might take care of everything: education, health, tourism, and good dividends for Ghana. And that's Ghana being so assassin from scandals that are happening in the past. But you can't do that by accommodating the pets. There are too many pets, biases here and there, impersonation. On both ways, at the FA. Impersonation, not much to another minister. Maybe the first line, who you know be a radical. And I'll mention straight away, Milante. I am one said, you know, now we want to run the avenue. I mean, it's all a friend of this new administration. But on can't be normal, vice to say you are now can't be. How can you fight malaria with the venison on the mosquito nankata? No. And yes, we want you to know. Secretary friends and cronies, yeah, and the center also done an akuado. And a president, a vice president, a Baumia, how much was it? And their friends and cronies, view, and we the media must fight it. Tooth and nail. Yeah, yes, media, one of your friends and cronies, yeah, and yeah, we are a wet couple.
So you don't think that Randiabe should be appointed as the sports minister?
Okay.
You don't think that Dr. Randiabe should be appointed as the sports minister?
I mean, this is they won't discussing malaria. Mosquito now only never discussing.
There be.
So that's the answer. Okay, everyone know all the crooked things are all now can be. Just the point. Some impersonation, you know, RTU versus themselves last year. It's the only impersonation crime in this country. Tony. And he didn't sign up against it. It makes him complicit. Why would Obia or everyone on this crook at the you know? That times with the of the ever sports minister. There's also for no. There's no way President J.D. Mahama would make that mistake. But for yes, I find that officer said, also about the swap one into. That won't be the point. Research and change, you know. Then what will be the point? There's no way. And see that. And see what come out. Of imagination. That won't happen in this country. It will be resistant fiercely. And another so the back how anybody. Now research now no, it won't happen.
Preliminary comment you quite say we have a very interesting conversation.
If you know some close on Ukraine do with the member to the why would you clean it up as an army? Yeah.
Mame ko
a Benin Mesa and Raminia and answer young but one guy dealt with it beautifully on a sister nation, a sister station. And then the Mesa have a Mesa thing. Almost part of global bodies. Oh, let me say no.
Yeah.
You know, born in this Charles SB.
Yeah.
Also, own the position.
Yeah.
President of Africa, arm wrestling. Vice President, world, arm wrestling. That bodies, no, for them to leave that, some of the sports ministers maybe a sacrifice for them. And they say, a band say, President, I can say, oh, so Mamba Ghana, you have to compensate them. Oh, I'm a
yeah.
And you know, and they may agree to it, but then you have to compensate them. Because Obisa have a mesa. Any Benin mesa, a whole Olympic game. Or even the head of a Commonwealth, Ghana. Oh, these are international bodies. A great reputation, you know. But we don't mind as our president said, but Ghana, they are only I said no. And you will finish that, and then we'll come with this to do compensation. But you need a radical, a real radical. That real radical, any new like this. No doubt.
Okay.
Only say, no, I see him call World Cup and you're in Pinito. May you hear the crowd in Akapa. So part say, yes, I'm call World Cup, and yes, I'm call World Cup and clean house completely. No. Because then you have to also weigh the measure and weigh the aspirations of Ghanaians. Because a lot of Ghanaians also want to go to the World Cup. And not even that. Ghana deserves to be at the World Cup, especially on the back of saying I'm qualified for AFCON. It's, you know, that's the area of the disagreement. I mean, was no. I know the area I was here for. We have to find any and every necessary means I ever qualify for World Cup. That's the only area of disagreement. I mean, but the fight with the FNA, I support it totally. It's, you know, Randy Assembly. Now we find a sports media. First and chronic are someone who was serious.
You hold that thought, Mami, because we'll get to that thought briefly in terms of personality and personnel or someone run the ministry of Sports and Recreation. My main Senior Jerome Ochoho. Now, Mr. A quick thought on the renaming of the ministry and what this means to the sports development and recreation in Ghana. Senior Ochoho, Marcho Akwaba Jumedio.
Yo, we say senior echo so I
with you, Pa. But your first reaction when you had said the Minister of Youth and Sport will be renamed to Sports and Recreation?
To be honest with you, my gut feeling was that this is great. It's great in the sense that it gives it brings some freshness to the whole business of running sports in the country. For how many years? I mean, I followed football to be frank, I got into liking on following sports generally from 1992, and from the late 90s, 97, 8, urban, 9 urban, 18 months I was Minister for Youth and Sports. And from that period, basically, President Mahama changing the name has been Youth and Sports. And from the beginning now, I don't think there was even enough attention to sports itself. Talk less of youth. It is a youth referee. The moment I saw the statement, I said, this is great. And it's great in the sense that youth now, it's not like youth referee. Youth now will be a ministry on its own.
Yeah.
Ministry of Youth Empowerment and Development also. So my initial reaction, my gut feeling was, even though I don't know the wisdom or the idea behind it, I think it's great because it brings freshness to the whole business of sports administration in the country. And the recreation bit, all of us know what recreation is about. I have said, if you drive around our neighborhoods, just decide to walk around or drive around, you will see more gambling centers and more alcoholic drinking centers.
Beer bars.
Than recreational centers. I have been to South Africa a number of times. South Africa has problems with alcohol abuse, gun violence, crime, and all that. It's not like the number of recreational centers they have even been able to solve those problems with youth. But I'm just saying that it's one of those countries with a lot of recreational centers. They have parks, they have social centers where children and the youth go and have games and sporting activities. From Ibini Hasa, say, happy FM for Namubeye, maybe a rep your jersey. And happy FM for
Kiff Festival, our family fan run, as a corporate run.
Thank you, corporate run. Keep fit then there. You don't really find avenues for recreation in the country. It's there. This new ministry signals a certain thinking, certain idea, which is a shift from what we have been used to. And I just hope, by the time the new minister is appointed and there is talk about what the business of sports and recreation will be, we will get more understanding to what you want to do with this ministry. But it's great. It's great. And let's put partisanship aside. Sports for there. You see, sports unites all of us. We may have our political ideologies and philosophies and beliefs and all that. But when you call for sports fans, all the people who come from various political parties. So let's put partisanship aside and look at the agenda or business of sports and see how it will be under returning President John Mahama.
Now, I say clearly some agencies under the previous ministry will go away. Say, for instance, youth NYA, for instance, had some statutory funding. All those funding would move away. I'm sure it go under the new youth ministry. Would that also affect the sports ministry in a way? Because we said the youth development centers, the youth resource centers, were under the NYA, for instance. Would that automatically become a property of the sports and recreation ministry and its funding problems?
That is for the government or the ministry to decide. But from me as a sports analyst, what was the idea of building the youth centers, which, I mean, we didn't even finish. What was the idea? The idea was about recreation and sports. Then it still should find its place under sports and recreation. Not YU, say NYA. So we call youth empowerment and development. It should go there. Now the focus should be on sports and recreation. Talk about funding. Now funding Ukraine say, and Senkra you. A greater part of whatever was given to or was being given to sports ministry, I think was going into football. And then Ukraine football, Nabraboni, the year. I think those are governance issues. The government, the ministry should be able to determine. And it should be administrative issues they should determine immediately, so that there's a clear-cut approach to sports and recreation, and then youth empowerment and development. But from where I sit, I think the youth centers should come under sports and recreation, because Osha facility for Florida, for example, it has tracks.
Yeah,
that can be an avenue for senior high schools in Koforidua to have sporting activities. Communities around.
For the last intercore,
Thank you. So that communities around the stadium in the center in Koforidua, Ajisu, Srodai, Betobu, if communities want to have games, they go there. Now, they had drink a crowd youth centers, and also is something I think the new government, if the youth centers will go under recreation, they should look at, because a idea as Kakra. Oshe baby to say, Kanishi Sports Complex, to Azuma, Oshe Senia, Etia, Sem Fata, to say Azuma, any Nema or Yema, Ghana Sports. 18. Youth centers issues, they funding it there. They should be able to determine it. It's a governance issue, and it shouldn't be too difficult for them to place the issue where it should be. My other concern would be, if it is sports development and recreation we are talking about, then it should be clear from the start, so that Enkoye made the article be to me X or Twitter handle this morning. Enkoye a football or Black Stars minister. Black Stars took on now first. Black Stars echo Dania on Namhubi. Black Stars echo Abrankesia Koye Campia or Shehubi. Meanwhile, I'm putting football echo Morocco. Sikakra de Mom Grano, a Bayantopa. And now so that his attention or her attention is on Black Stars. And Black Stars in Ukraine, the Papa Bang, Papa Munu say. It should be clear. The issues should be clear. We in the media, for example, should take the issues to the ministry and make them understand. Say, there's an issue of infrastructure. Infrastructure, I think to a large extent, the last government did their best. Almost CC facilities maybe, but maintenance is an issue. And they will share a simple, like they say, almost 30 renovation. The time on Becca said, almost year cramp, they draw no 30. But I think at some point they started. Ufa Kamalea, the state of the Tamale Sports Stadium, it is a nano nye Yamine ya Dumanka, Accra ni Kumasi Grano, yeah, never be a more Black Stars match. There is an issue of maintenance of our sports facilities. So I do say it should be a priority issue. How do we maintain sports infrastructure? Because whether it is recreation or sports development, you need proper infrastructure to get the development done. What they are not doing, financing issues, a big deal. I mean, you were just asking me about the youth component and when it's taken out, how is the funding going to be? I don't know. But what I do also know is that in some countries, there is private sector government partnership or government-private sector partnership, where the private sector is lured into coming to support sports. If it is tax rebates you give them because they are supporting sports, it should be done. In the past, we saw how Guinness Ghana Limited, Stanbic, Unibank, Rice Master, how even state-owned organizations like GMPC, we saw how much they pumped into Black Stars. I'm not going to say it was bad, but I'm just saying that if we're able to woo the private sector or private businesses well, or even state agencies, we're able to establish reasons they should support sports development. Some of them will be able to do it. But what the financing to China? Look at coaching and training of our athletes. I mean, some countries have programs for coaches. It is a senior GMPC, a support to construction of astroturfs. Senior ABR, company for a support to education. ABR, girls in mathematics. It could also be that we can support football coaches, track and field coaches, boxing coaches, to go for refresher courses, training programs, so that whatever they know is in line with international standards. Then Kobase, Ghana, let's say Olympic Games coaching is a problem. Your coach needs to say an athlete. It's not in tandem with modern trends of whatever game they are participating in. It's athlete training, coaches development, and not just for football, but across the sporting discipline should be prioritized. Look at our College of Education. I mean, sports college. Reading, yes, I think reading the NDC manifesto, it is something they talked about.
Yeah.
Now they have the power. Now they have the authority to do something. So even if within 4 years they can't do everything they said they would do, we should see the pointers. We should see the signpost. Within 2, 3, 4 years, they can set the path to proper development when it comes to running Universe Sports College. Because what we have as a sports college, I'm sorry to say, it's not a sports college. It is not. For all the places I have been to, the who sports college are track and field. I mean infrastructure. Football field. What is there as a football field is not a football field. In Soto, you can't even go there. A grass in the crampono, baby or high, grassless. And we are talking about a national sports college. Sports ministry, now sports and recreation, nipa obehedi, nipa ombeye juma oho, NTSCSA. What is ahead of them? A big responsibility, a big task, a big challenge. Because sports is faced with so many issues. Over football in Kwampa. I mean, football, as we speak, from where I sit and look at things, is getting into a disaster zone. Because Ghana Premier League, it has serious issues. Ghana Premier League, as we speak, have integrity issues. And integrity issues, and yet, one day near this all, you need people who have the right work ethics to inspire the public so they know that Sekotokoni has, and now Dreams FC, Accra Lions, Ekobo Matcha, referee ko di match no on fa scores ni share ne bottom ye wi a obehu na Accra Lions issue statement say ye ma e koso of football mu na fe dream set so abeyi ano yes private investor or even government investor or to all share football but we can say football nye Ghana football nye the proper BS because look where they be the issues, there are myriad of issues. And I will hope, sir, whoever will head that sports and recreation ministry will think deep about these issues and prioritize them and seek whether government or private sector or media or all the stakeholders seek our support and get the job done. Because the Juma is down when and yet the Juma to say, oh, my ba, the minister, I never to who ha, I never to who ha, so now Jumano, Senya, I been by no, I want to know how Jumano, or mine, and I Senya. It shouldn't happen. I mean, one of the things that happened in the past administration, which was so humiliating, was the fact that upon all the facilities we have, none met international standard. It means you can't do sports. Because maybe we training, we diagram the standards now and yet up to the FIFA talking about football and our CAF. What it means is that you can't even play. And if you can't play, how are you going to qualify to compete? Early days yet. I mean, the government is how many days old? About 7 days or 8
Yeah.
Even less. Early days, expectations, doors. I want to more say. Na nipa on be yina oba be hwe sports so no. On tia say adwuma e da na nim so. And opese o ye ni yi a obetimi aye. Ye ka ho asem no. Ye beka. Wa anye ni ye nso a beka.
And you go into who then leads the ministry. And I pay the 5 minutes to a draw. You say be able to sports minister. Meaning from them, they were here, they were here. Who do you think, even if the person even outside the minister area to Ghana, you can let us know who do you think that would be the best fit to man that ministry?
Me, to be honest with you, I'm not interested in the name.
Yeah.
It's a maybe a straight. But if you so, I mean, but to be frank with you, I can't stick my neck out and say it should be Mr. A or Miss B. I think what is needed is somebody, the sports industry in Ghana, if there's anything like that, can trust. And I'm talking about trust in various facets. Obia, you bet me a gina say, wait, dear. A juma edition in say, ubit me a Obia, you bet me a say, or Kasa, industry players will listen. Because maybe a Minister Kasa, football for year the omope. Minister Kasa, NFA for year the omope. There was even a clear-cut rift between the NSA and the
Director General and the minister.
Yes, it shouldn't happen. I mean, conflict is natural. We will not always agree. But we should, especially leaders who are entrusted with the management of public resources, even if it's private, resources are shown. Leaders should be able to manage and win the confidence of the people they are leading. It's me, I'm looking for a sports minister who will have that skill to bring all of us together, whether it's volleyball, whether it's tennis, whether it is badminton, and wrestling, whatever it is, Ubia, or the cloud to bring all of us together, or the skill set to lead us to proper grounds. Say Olympic Games in Ghana, who says say two events Ghana participate here. Medal hope the hopes of getting medals are high. Look, one of the problems Ghana sports has faced is a lack of truth truthfulness, lack of integrity of our sports. And we don't need anybody to come and talk about it in a way as if to say we don't know what is happening or what has been happening. Check from 2014, and you will know that Ghana sports have lacked integrity. Okay? Sports without integrity is nothing. You see, what 2014, it was a lack of truth. The players didn't have confidence in the system. There wasn't leadership. Inquire into what happened. In summer, white people and our committee
Yeah.
So we need a minister who can put his feet down and say that this is the direction we have to go based on current trends, based on the truth of the matter. Say yenya obia obenya sa akukudro na na obehuna Black Stars ekobo tournament o baby. Yeah tournament in the West Coast in West Africa. Esanse no kredie ni huntin. E pese the team ni call the Southern Coast, where conditions in terms of climate
will not favor us.
Ubehuna World Cup ayekobo yen qualify 1 year to the World Cup yen qualify. And so you see you can campo baby because you qualify, you are acclimatized. What sort of reasoning is that? Yen here sports minister where is anima? It's media. I am more interested in the character, the leadership, the truthfulness of the person who will be given the job. It needs to inspire confidence. And so, where now be with me do barrier a wedding.
Okay.
2018 football expose was an issue of integrity.
Integrity, yeah.
Referees. It was an issue of integrity. Look at the sort of issues I see during the Africa Games. Cycling Association. Name them. One thing. Not minister so can different thing. It was embarrassing. Now, issues of truth, issues that bother on the integrity of our sports. It is here will be a animal now together. One who say the body politic of sports deserve some washing. It never seen to my fino. They are hatani who say, oh, I feel there. Oh, yes, sports. Not say a few man. Nobody will pay attention to you.
Yeah.
And until now, your football, for instance, even people are losing interest. You know.
Because a cost of picking thought on in terms of the percentage on about and Tivan besides being radical, what again should he possess? Because we've seen him as the youth and sports minister before, not long though, but the whole based on maybe I want to see be a person what other qualities must he possess or bring to bear or bring to the fore when he is appointed. Second.
Yeah. President Mahama and everything, and also this. And we're saying Nilanti Vanderpoy and the request for the statement. So basically, many influence one, so I come on the Kaka. But as to the radical nature, that's exactly what we need. That's what the doctor ordered. I'll say all funny and then Yarenko. You know, when you say your immediate assignment,
Match World Cup qualifiers. Yeah.
And the immediate assignment. So you need somebody who can take the reins immediately and deal with the situation. But on the other hand, yeah, and come World Cup cry and everything. I know a sticking point because Ghana deserves to be at the best assembly of football nations. I know there. Besides that, as a state, even the citizens also have a right to also go to those leagues. And the players also have a right to participate in the best competitions at the grandest stage. So I know there, it's a no-brainer, and it's not negotiable. And you don't mean like I said, young court. Besides that, But media now didn't need a boxing. Boxing and one I did more sports glory over the years. The fun as you are, maybe the drown when they say Olympic Games nothing. And and that's not something I have done a reputation. Any reputation is way back in 1965 they sober. I just 3 more. Last one is some motivation. And I say uncle, and you also did until Sunday the man on so boxing background. Yeah, and Pep will be a very football bias and a black star bias. Here recepted the anam power here recepted. It's when you will be a common influence one so you know one of the manner. But he's exactly the person we need to change the status quo in Ghana football. I know the gym of the Ghana for funding. The tax and the gym more crowd. It is a if you do about it, and I said, a Muson coach your name, Granny, and then I say, who back to the Musadia. Now, what's the point? It doesn't make sense at all. And a year now, we want to be known. It is all about a professor or the same.
Francis Dodu. The tax and field. There will be also a bit more one ministry now. It will be good, but not as a substantive minister. When you know, yeah, which was Matabita at GAA. The crowd in the fast, and yet, yes, let's say, and also the Ghana Sports Ministry, no. But the best Mabwa with the influence of all the world affected, best Mabwa Ghana. By advising here, there were considerable leverage with Mabwa and back and forth. Then the but the man of it imagine now advice no Mabwa and I leverage on the influence of all the other person. And then you have a place I say, also Africa, rugby on the airport. Because of the considerable influence in world sports, and my leverage. Likewise, Ben in the winter. But who put you to make 2 sackers as the chef, Nick Roya, not the governance expert. I can't say CIA. I can't, as any prayer, the Ghana football, and sports in general, but especially Ghana football in there. And then you so any brace here, they always read Randy Abena, that we send it for an upward. And that's not what we voted for. No. It's, in your sure President J.D. Mahama on your side. And then I didn't say so, or a year part there. Somebody and say, now, we deal with the associated prayer or football. You have a boxing, so, and a tap and so. These are the top 3. I sports media, and I'll say about you got because historically, you say these top 3 disciplines, and Ghana, yeah. The sports media was there. If a copy of a Yama, who said that sporting discipline is there, and somebody be a broker. And then your friends and cronies, for your friends and cronies, Dr. Baumia, and it's why you're not another way. You are taking them up by the Muslim country, my friends and cronies. Yes, what we do, you're a big rope, yes, President Mama, and then Minister of Babia. Yeah, no, say maybe so. You have connection that if you have friends and cronies and family, I can be abused. So you have to play a part, and President Mama, I want to be today. Okay.
Want to be, and or the friends and cronies, any family, Babana said, we got to be on the island side. I better than Abuagana. That's where would you much leadership of this country, the 4th state. And so if I say in the Caribbean and my sports media, let's say play a part.
As you speak, the appointments committee has a vetting of 3 ministers are power. Say, you announce a new minister for sport and recreational. What should be his immediate priority? Then also trying to say your World Cup qualifiers in March, but there are also issues also trying to for you. What should be his immediate also ordinary to make sure that we are on the right track?
I agree with Senior. World Cup leader, it should be a priority. Yeah, starting maybe in the year, but if there's a chance to qualify, we have to focus on qualification. Because whether we like it or not, footballers, it's World Cup in a pinnacle of world football. It's, if we can qualify, I mean, why not? We have to prioritize it and qualify. It's really immediate. And we are in January. The next qualifier is in March. It's about how many weeks? About 8 or 9 or so.
Yeah.
I know it should be a priority. But me, they hear me say the ethics of sports. You see, there must be signals that say also saw Niemabisu. And they can do that by giving us pointers. So, for instance, Black Stars coach, we don't know whether it will be Otuado or it will not be Otuado.
Yeah.
You bet me I can't based on history say ABM the Otuado. But it's not a stinking issue. It's a stinking issue when it comes to coaches' appointment in the country relative to Black Stars. And there's an issue of, once there is something stinking there, there's an issue of integrity there. Because the way coaches' appointments have been done relative to Black Stars, I have a problem. And the moment there's a problem with appointment of coaches, the moment it is not open, the moment it is shady, inconsistent with common sense and logic. They said the FA for 1 year in appointing Otuado now. There's going to be problems with the coach and the relationship he has with the players and other stakeholders of the sport. And immediate issues should be, the World Cup it's of prime importance, but critical to all these issues, it should inspire confidence and give us reason to believe that Onipa way there, wait in the next form, because the actual Ghana sports in training, lack of responsibility and accountability. And AFCONs. How many AFCONs have we gone to since 2019? And there are issues with some of the expenditure. Ghana penny tournament ban sana ya budget. And how is that done? Oh, and see, let us look at the immediate issues. But key to the immediate issues, because the running of sports in this country, from what we have known in recent years, basically, the taxpayers' money in the area. So how are we not accountable to the people? And we have not been accountable to the people. So far, even the way we run AFCON, we are not accountable to the people. To me, I would want to see on the issue of accountability, how the new minister would quit himself. Because a ban is saying that Black Queens, able qualifiers we are. And so, Black Stars ever come baby there. Sikani share him for cry, Yibinyamo. Share your World Cup budget. Share the sort of expenditure we publish. In fact, they hide it from us, but then we have a way of getting it. And when we get it, it makes no sense. Maybe another badminton for here. And badminton graduate we take boxing, which has given us laurels. Everyone here $10,000 be akoto gloves for black bombers. And so World Cup expenditure purse holder, the amount of $10,000. For what job? For what job? And it's so bad that when you even talk about it, Management Committee of the Black Stars, they share $500,000. FBI dollar no, because Ghana city ni nyenchinu. You feel say sana dollar ni. $500,000 is shared among 5 or 6 people, and there's no accountability. These are issues that in the new administration, senior Kayano, if we say we are resetting, we should reset these issues in the immediate instance. the minister should make it clear that these things will not happen under his watch. Because the young now come under the authority of government. Tabani can say, management committee members of Black Stars, they cannot pay. But because Abano or no Enfano, responsibility near weak, zero accountability. Jamba Kutua, now Behuna, Black Bombers, Epe, their pants. I've spoken to former sports minister, Leland Vanderpoel, before on this issue. I met him at a private location. Maybe I cannot divulge some of the things he said. But some of the things he said publicly goes to show you, say, it got to a time, $5,000 for some of the federations, I saw in the NCO, concerning Black Stars, to make sure that money is saved to take care of other sporting disciplines. They say all these matters further on integrity, responsibility, and accountability of running sports in this country. It's in immediate issues there. Black Stars are number one, but then Black Stars in our World Cup qualification number one. But say a year, say any year, a nuclear, the administration of sports in this country. It may be a new year. The other things will come out of those things. You know. Okay. You know, the best appointment committee for say nomination we are almost it shouldn't be business as usual. It shouldn't be welcome a nominee now. Yes, because otherwise, the whole strategy. We scrutinize the person, squeeze him. Who say you want to because media for no. The movie or her can try. But as I'm no sani become. Who doesn't know that the GFA, in concert with the government over time, has failed Ghanaians when it comes to judicious use of taxpayers' money in running Black Stars? They've been failures. It's very clear. 2014 is an example. In fact, 2019 was a disaster. 2021, disgraceful. 2023, another disgrace. But in all instances, what was the reward package?
Yeah.
Go and check. Which country pays in excess of $20,000 to players who cannot win a game? And management committee members take some. Where does that happen? How do you reward people who continuously fail at getting the right things done? And it's not, my concern is not so much about the players, because the players exist under somebody's authority. And this authority take a share of the money, regardless of failure or success. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen at all. And it is one of the things that we will be keeping our tabs on to see whether we will go back to the past and now say there will be a reset and a proper reset of the issues we are raising.
Okay. Sinako, what should be the relationship between the current football leadership and the new minister, say Paulo Contenders, say Jimmy Tumwa? Ebi say the previous minister not too relaxed as a relationship with the FA4 no now say too cool. What should be the relationship between the new minister and the football federation association and other federations?
Well, element number one, you know, our new sports minister and about to cleaning house, you know, of the press now more at home. Yes, you know, Mr. Vice President, what's the word? We didn't account for star DG not Jerome Okan.
See, I'm about to if you really want to crown and come on a me feedback.
What's the spell?
Yeah, okay, better.
Okay. And you know now, I mean, Jerome Okan. It's because tolerant bank, I'm mobile accountant. And I'm not Jerome Okan about appointment committee. We come about parliamentary select committee on sport. Almost accomplished it. Minister Alamo Jano money, whatever you wanted.
See, but the way the money, Michelle, the way the money, Michelle. See, but say there. What you want me?
Hey. Hello?
Yeah, what you mean?
I'm saying,
but what you want me?
Because the minister will be our bar. And it's on it, a football chiefs, no. And that's an answer, a Boko Shatafe. No. Also, he has to get rid of them.
Get rid of them?
Even by initiating complaints against them for criminal conduct. Starting with LTU Dreams FC, 6 match now, my boy. All results, you know, and your competitive results, you know, discipline committee said it should stand. That's what happened. And yet, you say, if I say no, but we have to get rid of our press. No? That should be the nature of the relationship. But get rid of our crooks at the end. And yes, I know you.
Is that not too radical? Is that not too radical?
So this is the attitude that I am causing. I think that one is too radical. It has to be that radical. Because all my react to say, oh, Bonnie, no, you don't want your Bonnie, sir. And just all you'll be answering, I react to say, I'm super too Bonnie, and I say, and it's all castle cake. That's the way to go. And the young sports media, if we want to accommodate the crookedness, and well, we have to be very radical in uprooting the evil. That's the only way. You cannot accommodate villains. Not everyone will villains. You have to uproot it. And we have to say, no more money. And you I'm going to get so much that I'm going to bonnet. So I'm going to be in no. You have to uproot it. Using criminal case now, last season, a criminal case. So you have to start charge them, and then they should be tried. And the when the case now fine. When it's right, then they pay the consequences. Yeah, that's the only way. Somebody say, oh, yeah, then yes, sports media, and they say, come on, we're born in because we deep one in now, you two are saying, I say, two radical there, and they won't count me. And you know, that's what I say. And I should not compromise with these crooks at the FA. No. That should be the relationship between the minister and some crooks are more FA. No. That should be the relationship. And then, of course, the other ministries are, the other disciplines are almost but because the state, you know, and more money funding, you know, and you know, they've been getting away with it. So almost also they have to be scrutinized. But the first point of contact, GFA, you know, that should be the relationship. Like Dan was saying, whoever will be the minister should give a clear signal for any course in the past. Okay. And we, the media, must support that. Yes, sports media. If we don't support the news, you're good citizen.
All right. Sina Jerome, minim say abambia boswa wotianye sports minister na monya asem right from 2001 Malamisa Eba Muntaka in 2009. What would be your advice for Obi Ebeyino in charge of this ministry? Dear na Obeka and Cherifuto Ben Adumano.
Can you repeat the last part? I didn't hear.
Nami bisa say in our history as well in the Fourth Republic, here Paul sports minister here Odi Assembly Eba. Yankai Malamisa in 2001, Yankai Muntaka in 2009. What would be your advice for Obi Ebeyino for the Ministry of Sports and Recreation?
The he needs to be firm and clear and not be part of the rot. If you are not firm and clear, the temptation to be part of the rot is high. Sometimes when you also show your intentions clearly, they're able to plot, they're able to plan. They will create slippery grounds for you. Even in making your intentions clear, you should also be wise. Sana Bible, you have to be wise. Media, the Futoke Siam the Roman and say he should be wise, clear, and firm. The firmness is important because you cannot fight a system that has shown tendencies of corruption if you are weak. They are called tournament aba. In night, now sports minister representing. This is a budget for the competition, and that is the end. Oh, actually, the breakdown, Beba Emma. You are going to be part of the loot and the rot. Because, like I said, how do we go to a tournament with, let's say, a budget of $6 million, and we spend about 3 million of it, and we couldn't win a game? The first, I mean, president, the first thing that will happen is I'll fire the sports minister. Because the buck stops with you. And so, there is zero accountability and there is no responsibility for wrong actions. The new sports minister should be firm. He should be clear and wise. Wise in the sense that sometimes you will take actions. Radical. It might be radical because that is the only remedy to the rot. And when I make time, I'm for Bible as a mumbromokaka. I make time will be post. I'll say there's been a biblical Christianity, and new the normal Christianity, so people have become. I mean, some Christians have become so used to it that when you bring in biblical Christianity, you think you are being radical. Okay, I am not blaming you or I'm not accusing you. I mean, you are playing the devil's advocate, But no question say lukewarm Christianity. I don't know the panic myself. Lukewarm Christianity. It has become so normal. But what is it that Revelation doesn't tell us? Revelation say if you are lukewarm, you'll be spat out. You be few, you be poor, you be you for your room because you have lukewarmness. You have to be hot or cold. Yeah, Ghana sports, I bet lukewarm. It minister should not be lukewarm. He should be warm. So be warmer, on your warm, or be colder, on your cold. Near who say reset, it be a coldness. But the reset, we send them say any papa mudia. The new sports minister must be hot. Hot to the extent that be able who say, oh wait dear. The OE dear. It means well for Ghana sports. Then Koba say, Titino, who they are cosulina. Maybe but the men who are Ghana sports move, Fiebe, Duni, a tree, a tremuno. And yet, senior call Ekayano. I'm a very hopeful person. But then, say, a dramatic shift from the past. And that dramatic shift demands that the next sports minister will be clear in mind, will be firm in his convictions, and also will be wise in his ways. He needs these 3 things. So to me, and when you have a wedding, somebody said, and your Kromhan will be said, if you fight corruption, corruption will fight back. Is he a wedding? Yes, a wedding. But you should be convinced that at the way any year, and then the baby. And I said, Nilante Mandapoy, I'm not advocating for him. I mean, I think the government knows best what they want to do. And I don't believe that Nilante might even take the appointment. I don't know. But I'm just saying that Nilante, Honorable, who share one chesa, but I don't know, be a bonidi. I don't know, be a making references. Senior on this interview has made references to him. Our own friend, Benedict Usu, and I was teasing him on Twitter, say, or Penilante assembled. I said, no, it is because of what he showed. So you see, we know what is right. And we have the men who can do it. Because Nilante showed the example. But the nice see from man, maybe say on penny manisi. because the buck stops with him. And the new minister, whoever he is, so or whoever she will be, there's been a good example, even if it was brief. And there has also been a trail of bad examples. We can compare. There were bases to compare and determine what is good and bad for Ghana sports. Intermediate, I think maybe I'm repeating myself. He should be clear in mind, he should be firm in his convictions, and be wise in his ways. I think, or yes, animal we are. Yes, sports, we say, who can say, who have a terminal? You shouldn't be part of it. You see, a true say, I can fool baby say, when you know, we can say, or win a Herman Colawin and Karekan, for thank you, we cheating you. It's such a shame. So, Oshaman Colawin and Kayakan and Kabu. Yeah, it's also Banase. He said, I'm a kind, who be a Black Stars minister. I mean, you will fail. Because the example from the past we have seen is that all Black Stars ministers, they failed. The last one, I'm sorry to say this, but the last one, we couldn't qualify. And that's how the decline is progressive. Uko untimi wini, I feel quite there, and it's because of how we have done our things. The little things that snowballed into this big case of not being able to qualify. It's new sports in there. There are sports once a year. A human soon. It's on share. Don't be any. That's a banner also being here. I support what Senior said. Yeah, in sports media and also I see a tiny. Oh, I said the year name said you best support to the right thing. Binimo uko pena ko ite say I say omufua oniso ana wo de bia no ukasa tia obi enye sa na ete we are the power yebeka we are the bonia ye anso ne yebeka and say me diri say ye corner sa ebia some few years to come nyama besa
say home any senior call and I pay your party from Fanche no sanka barrister Charles be joining in studio and I was go for a kutubu for chair say what you give into me and me Fanche I'm sure say the government as the president and new sports minister will reconvene near Nipano Nisu Nibai Bravo and the other back sports mu near Tonko. But if I pay happy new year for Edomas for time.